Hey folks, welcome back to another video. We're going to go ahead and we'll get started here to draw the winner for a Sephiroth amiibo. So stay tuned. And welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out on the channel. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it all, especially with these past couple of weeks have been really rough. For those who don't know, for the past month, I've been having, even before, in the beginning of January, I was having a little bit of tougher time with light sensitivity, and I've always had light sensitivity ever since about 20 years ago. I had an accident that involved nerve damage to my brain, and I've always had light and sound sensitivity, so I've always wore sunglasses outside, really heavy sunglasses, polarized. But just more recently here in the beginning of January, I started having difficulties with just in normal light, and over time, you know, I've gotten accustomed to just sometimes not wearing sunglasses and everything else. But just recently, I've been having a lot of trouble just with my eyes adjusting to the light and getting headaches because of the light, where it's been getting more severe and more severe to the point where we're not entirely sure yet what caused it, but I did have 2 seizures. So I stopped driving, I stopped working, pretty much everything came to a halt, especially after the second seizure. And we've been taking procedures ever since. Just about 2 weeks ago, I was actually finally going in for an MRI, for a scan for my brain to see what was going on. I went to the Orlando Epilepsy Center to get myself an EEG scanned on there, which will be changing. Instead of a 45-minute session that I had, they'll be going for putting pretty much nodes on my head, little wires all over my head, for 3 days. They're going to do that in the future to see what is still constantly triggering these headaches, because it's still persistent, still going on. I actually just woke up from a headache, so long and short, I go to sleep with headaches and I wake up with headaches, and the headaches can go anywhere from, you know, the intensity of super mellow headaches to where it's just pounding, and I can kind of work with my day and just kind of have it in the back burner and try not to focus on the headache as much, but it's still, you know, it's pounding back there. But every now and then I have waves of just extreme pounding and very sharp pains that come onto the side of my head. And I'm going to get 2 more scans on the 13th of February at night, and it's going to kind of suck because it's going to be more at nighttime. And these MRI, these scans, these MRIs give me even more headaches, which really sucks. So that's going to be fun. But mostly I wanted to find out exactly what's going on with these headaches, because I'm more concerned with it, especially with the seizures. So a couple of weeks ago, I had some seizures once again. After experiencing all these intense headaches and everything for a month straight, I had 2 seizures back to back on 2 different days. And I haven't been working. I haven't really been doing anything. I haven't been doing videos. I haven't been really doing anything. So I've been just trying to find out what is going on, what's the solution for all this and everything. So, and right now in this part of the video, I wanted to go ahead and do the Sephiroth giveaway. That's kind of, it's supposed to be done pretty much a week ago, and I still haven't been able to really do much. So I'm going to go ahead and do the Sephiroth amiibo, the giveaway today, so that way I can send out a Sephiroth amiibo to our lucky winner. So that way they can have themselves a Sephiroth amiibo. Folks, thank you so much once again for participating in the contest. We had about 52 entries this time around. I want to thank everybody for participating in the entries. I'm glad that you participated in the entries on here, so that way you can get your chance to win a Sephiroth amiibo, because I do like doing these giveaways. So we're going to go ahead, and this is the same method as before, just because I don't want to relay any information, but I will show you how it's done on here for me on the side. I just push this button right here on the draw winners part on there. This is the Gleam.io website, the website that was used for it. I just picked the draw winners. It's going to go ahead and load ourselves a winner. I'm going to pull the screen off on here, as you saw, and it's going to draw the winner because it's going to show personal information. I don't want to relay anybody's personal information. Oh, I killed Sephiroth over here. Oops, sorry, bud. but I don't want to relay anybody's personal information on here, so I'm gonna press the draw button right now. It's loading 10%, and it usually takes a little while to do it. Sorry folks, I had to jump cut. I had a sneezing attack just now, so I didn't want to have that all constantly on the video. So we do have a winner on here, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the last name on here. I'm going to try not to butcher it for you on here. But we have Louis Rochenberger from Fremingdale, New York. So congratulations on winning Sephiroth Amiibo. I will be getting in contact with you on here as soon as possible, so that way I can send you out the Sephiroth Amiibo. So congratulations once again, Lewis. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating on here. Lewis, I'm going to go ahead and get an email sent out to you, so that way we can get you your brand new Sephiroth Amiibo on there. Folks, thank you so much for participating on there. I really have fun doing these giveaways on here. I really wish that I could go out a little bit more. I haven't really been able to go out and everything, and one of the things I've been really trying to go out and do is to go out into stores and buy more Amiibo and everything like that, because I love doing these giveaways. So, but I have a couple of things going on in the future, the big future projects coming up on here. I'm going to actually push over to another, we're going to do a little jump cut over here, and I'll explain the other projects that I have in mind that I'm doing. It's the pretty big projects that I have for myself and my wife, so go ahead and we'll stay tuned on here. Alright folks, thank you for sticking with me here till the end of this part of the video. This is going to be more of kind of what's been going on. A little bit of, as per the beginning of the video, I've mentioned before that I've been having headaches since January, early January. I've had a lot of trouble with light, like even this light right now. It's kind of why I'm wearing this hat. This hat actually really does help with blocking some of the light. And I actually have, just in case if it starts getting a little bit too bright or it starts getting a little bit more eye strain for me right now, I have these sunglasses that my wife brought for me that are really dark, polarized, that I've been using them on the day-to-day, as well as a hat that covers pretty much, like a sun hat that covers my entire head, so it gives a brim to help with the shade, and that actually has been helping a lot, so that way I don't have as much eye strain, so the migraines and the headaches, or at least from what they're saying, it could be migraines, but we're determining it being something else. Somebody has diagnosed, one of the doctors had diagnosed something completely different, and then my wife also looked that up, and we were diagnosing something completely different, and we're looking to see if it's that. But nonetheless, these have been helping prevent the more intense headaches. So right now I am having one right now. It's kind of in the back burner. It's just kind of like this pulsating headache. It starts usually from this side right here and kind of goes around throughout the day, or it kind of just lingers in one spot. But more recently, in mid of January, it started getting to the point where it was really hard for me to just see normally. And I was just constantly squinting all the time. Headaches were very intense, and during that week is when I had, from what my friends were telling me, it was a seizure. This happened in the mid of January, but I had from what they were telling me, it was a seizure. It could have been an epileptic seizure, because there was a lot of screens in the area and everything. Luckily, that nothing went from there. I just had headaches. My right side of my body felt a little numb, so I came back home, and then the very next day I was sleeping, funny enough, in here. This is just my little office where I do, my videos, and I have my gaming stuff and everything, and you can see here, this is like my little game room. I started feeling a little uneasy. I came in here, I wanted to look at my tablet, see if there was anything that I needed to do for the day before I head out. And I felt really uneasy. I felt cold. I felt shivering. So I laid down on the couch that I have over here to my right, and I have a weighted blanket that I brought from the other room. I just kind of cuddled in here a little bit like that, and then I started shaking a little bit more, to the point where I was losing my vision, just like the incident that I had the day before. And I don't recall what happened afterwards. I just recall waking back up. So that was, I guess, a second incident that I had on there. So we've been going from there, going to the Orlando Epilepsy Center to getting myself checked out, and I had an EEG put on me. So for 45 minutes, they had scanned my brain to see if there was anything going on. All of these incidents going on while still having the headaches. So I essentially scheduled an MRI, and we did an MRI, like I mentioned in the channel. We did 2 scans of MRI and sat in there for about 45 minutes, almost an hour to it. This time, in comparison to 20 years ago when I had the MRI, it's just as crappy of a situation because there's just so much noise going on in there. And then I had earplugs plus headphones to help reduce the sound on it, but it was inevitable. It was a really sucky 45 minutes, and but the nurse over there, Richard, was very nice about everything. I really do appreciate his help on it. It was funny because he had told me that there was 5 minutes left on the intercom for the MRI, and just when he said that, I had to sneeze, so I had to really hold that sneeze in for 5 minutes. But nevertheless, so I'm going to get another scan. I'm going to get something called an MRV and an MRA for the brain again to see what's going on with it. And that will be on Thursday, so next week coming up. I'm going to be on Monday. I have 2 more scans for that. It's actually down here. Order for 2 scans. So I have that going on as well. And then I have a EEG, so they're going to do another test. They're going to put a whole bunch of diodes on my brain again. But unlike last time where I actually stayed at the epilepsy center for 45 minutes and doing it, that only scans for that amount of time. So they want to really find out what's going on with the brain scans. So what they're going to do is they're going to actually come to the house, put the diodes in the nodes in on my head, and it's going to be there essentially for 3 days. So they're going to do that for 72 hours scan of seeing what's going on with my head, see how the headaches start, everything, how they travel around, and go from there. So we'll do that. Give me just a second, actually. Okay, had to do a little jump cut on there. It started getting a little intense. I had to turn off the lights a little bit for a couple minutes. I want to put the sunglasses on. I just don't want to. It'd be kind of weird if I had sunglasses on if I do, change them out for these. I might put them on here for a little bit still, because I know just throughout the time of me recording the light might get a little bit more intense, and I don't want to turn off the light because you won't be able to see me or anything like that. I was planning on doing that as well for the Sephiroth Amiibo giveaway that I was recording on the other side, putting a lot lower light. I kind of did. It helped a little bit, but these do help a lot. These glasses, especially for the fact that they seem to block the light at the side over here, because there is this kind of like leather on there. So it is really nice. So I'm going to keep these on here for a couple minutes to help my eyes have less strain right now. But the other thing is, so we have that going on. I have all that going on. And the next part of all of this was just me kind of nagging a little bit just because of just the way that they take care of this kind of stuff. So I know I've talked to a friend of mine recently, and he had not a similar situation, but essentially the procedure of things is just kind of like a just little absurd of how medical works over here. If you don't have an insurance card or anything like that, I feel like this place just kind of screws you over with everything. So this is kind of the part of the video where it's not just very nice of me to say certain things. I am kind of upset the way that, just in general. I know that my case won't be as intense as some other people's cases, but I can imagine this is an ongoing thing that happens every single day with everybody that has these types of things. So I have an insurance company called Oscar, and I have been going through them to help me make payments for all the visits, the MRIs, all that kind of stuff and everything. So, which is very fortunate, because there's a lot of it that I haven't had to pay for, but there is a lot of it that I've had to pay for. So, this right here is just a letter. It's just stating on here, because the Orlando Epilepsy Center sent me a, not only did they order the request forms for the scans and the EEG and everything else, they also gave me prescriptions for my headache, so that way I can kind of fight it on there. It was something called Topamax, I believe it was called, and there was something else.
Neurotech is on here. Yeah, Neurotech, or TBDP, whatever it is for epilepsy and headaches and seizures and everything like that. So because of, I guess, the lack of records or the lack of a primary care physician, I've never really needed a primary care physician. But in order to get to certain things, so for an example, in order for me to get to for me to schedule my own MRI, I had to have a primary care physician give me an order receipt to go take the MRI, which I already had the receipt for from the Orlando Epilepsy Center to give me the MRI. They had ordered it, signed it, everything for a MRI and an EEG. And they said, no, that you need to contact your primary care physician, everything. It got to the point where we were a little bit upset because there was already a week out, and it wasn't going anywhere. So my wife took the initiative to call them up, schedule an MRI, just tell them the numbers exactly how it is, and we actually managed to get the MRI. And later the next day, Oscar came back and sent me a letter, very fast letter, telling me that the prescription that was also given in that same receipt paper from the doctor from the Orlando Epilepsy Center was, this letter is to notify you that we have denied the request because any of the criteria on my medical history has not been met on here. And they don't necessarily say exactly what it is, which is funny because it's just very vague. It just says one of three things. Trial and failure, or unable to use two different agents, two different medications, I guess. The medication being prescribed by or in consultation with a neurologist, pain specialist, or headache specialist. Documentation of 4 or more migraine headaches per month. I've, since January 7th, is what I've already told the doctor at the Epilepsy Center, is how long I've been having the headaches, and the scan was done, or my date with the Epilepsy Center, or the consultation with the Epilepsy Center was on the 14th, I believe, or the 17th of January. I don't recall. Nonetheless, it's been more than 4 days. It was a week already since I've already had the headache. So 4 more migraine headaches per month. I guess I overqualify for that. But I went to the neurologist. Like I said, I went to the neurologist just recently. This was on Monday this week. So today's Wednesday. I went on Monday, and same thing. I was prescribed a medication for seizures. I was given the MRV scan order and the MRA scan for the order, and that's the 3-day EEG that they're going to put on the nodes on my head. They had ordered all 4 of those things for me. We still haven't scheduled a date for the scan for the brain yet, but I am going to go get the MRI scans on the 13th, as I mentioned earlier. So, but they also requested me medication. And the medication that they requested me 2. And one of them was the same medication that was requested here on this form, the Topomax. So, and another one was the Neurotech 75 milligrams. And there was another one that they also prescribed to me as medication, and I'll get to that one in a bit. So that's one paper. So yesterday, they sent me another letter with essentially the exact same thing. Now this time it's a different doctor from this one, because it was the doctor from the neurologist center. And we've received an authorization request from your prescriber for coverage of Neurotech, and the request has been deemed withdrawn. So they denied me again, because, and they don't give reason for me at all this time at all. So they don't give me, we received a request for Neurotech. Our records show that you were denied the request drug. No new information has been submitted with this request. These are 2 different letters from 2 different doctors. One is from the Epilepsy Center, one is a neurologist, and they both are essentially brain doctors, head doctors. However, what they did do is right afterwards is they sent me a whole bunch of letters for me to sign and date and do all of this paperwork, for me to appeal with my doctor on the reason why I need to do this. So I may do this. They also were very nice enough to give me this instead. This is no different from BC powder, something that I already have taken over a decade for my headaches. So they just gave me a beefed up version of BC powder to fight my headaches. I know right off the bat, and I've already tried this before, I know right off the bat that this will not help me in the long term, because this is going to just cure my headaches for the time being, because the caffeine inside of it is going to help. And then the medicine inside will essentially kick in after time when it fully dissolves and everything. But initially, what's going to keep my head going is the caffeine and the back burner. Sorry, folks, I had a jump cut again. I had lost my train of thought. My head started actually having a really sharp pain. Then anyways, this thing is, I've already taken this thing. It's not really going to affect me in the long run. And I don't even know if the other two, honestly, these other medications, this Topamax and this Nurtec, are going to help in the long run for it. So my wife went ahead and did some research ahead of time as well, after going over there, before going to the MRI scans and the neurologist. And she found something called, a symptom called cluster headaches. I guess it goes by another name called suicide headaches. A neurologist can diagnose cluster headaches just by doing scans of the brain and everything as well. But essentially, cluster headaches are almost like migraines, to where they affect you. They affect your area and everything like that. But migraines can last anywhere from, it just varies from person to person. It can last anywhere from an hour to a month or anything like that. Cluster headaches, I guess, cluster headaches go a little bit long term. And with these last two seizures, I'll be completely honest, I've been terrified, because I don't know what the future holds. By the seizure that I had when I was with my friends was kind of a terrifying experience, because I could consciously hear everything and everything around me. I could not respond. I felt like I was, I don't know, it felt very weird. And then again, when I was laying down by myself, I felt my whole entire body stopping. I felt my heart stopping. Just recently in October, I went with my wife and we had a vacation. We went up north. We went to go see the fall foliage, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences that I've ever had. And I got to spend time with my wife, and we got to just pretty much, just kind of relax our minds and everything like that, and just kind of just be at ease. And it's one of the things that we've always wanted to do in the future, is we wanted to travel around the States and go see different national parks and see the forests and everything, because we are really kind of nature people as well. So I don't want this, whatever this is, to be a hindrance on my life, and I don't want that to be a hindrance on my wife's life. So instead of, I know, them helping me, I'm going to actually just help myself. And I've decided just recently, and I'll show you a picture of it. It'll be somewhere in the video, over here. Maybe I'll take a picture or a video of it, but I'll just have a picture of it down here. I bought a van recently. And we are going to rebuild the inside of the van to accommodate a bed and some storage, and just your necessities, water. Make sure you have water storage. Maybe some kind of refrigeration on there as well, just for very little things. Some battery, solar power battery, some stuff so I can keep working in the meantime, because I will be able to take certain things with me to do certain videos. Try to avoid more of this, where I can just kind of relax my mind, exercise, and everything like that as well. So I bought the van. I have it parked over there. But it needs some work. It needs some tender love and care. It just needs a lot of care. I will be selling my video game collection off, and the reason why I want to do that is because, mostly one, space-wise, I have a lot of these games on other consoles, or I have other ways of playing these games. So I don't I don't need another copy of Catherine or God of War or anything like that if I have it either digitally or... And I've had my fun with that. I had my fun with collecting games over the years, over the past probably 2 decades, collecting for more modern consoles, and I have a lot of older console games, retro console games, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, N64, etc. And I will be selling those off too. But it's mostly more for space. I don't want to keep a lot of stuff anymore. I want to just keep more essential things. Like I will be keeping like the games for the Switch, because those are really small. They can fit in a box, and that box I can put in a storage unit or whatever the case may be, or just in the attic or anything like that. There's a lot of these games that I've already been through, I've already played, I've already enjoyed them, and it's time to pass it on. And like I need to move on into something new and downsize, and I'm gonna go ahead and sell all of the games that I have on here for various consoles. So that's just pretty much it. And then all of this is actually, you know, it's going towards the van. That is going towards it. It's more towards our dream. So my wife and I have the dream of visiting all 50 states. I know that it's going to be harder to visit all the states in a van. One of them is overseas unless I ship it out there, so I can't. But we want to visit as many states as we can with the van, you know, before we move on to something else, because it's part of a dream that we've had. You know, we want to experience something different. We've always been kind of this nomadic kind of mentality where we want to go out there, we want to travel, and a lot of things that I have will technically be anchoring me down. So if I have all of these games, I know I'm going to have a bigger storage unit or anything like that. So I want to go ahead and I know I'll be able to play a lot of these later on. So I want to go ahead and sell them so I can put it towards our goal, which is now the van. I know this video has been very lengthy. It's been in pieces. This is probably the longest that I've been doing it without a jump cut through my eyes. I've been drinking my tea, so my tea has been helping me with the caffeine on there to make my headache dumb down a little bit. But that's the goal, that's the plan now, is I'm going to continue making some content. I'm actually, part of the thing I'm going to do with this as well is I'm going to be making videos based off of the collections that I have. So I'll make a PS3 collection video that I own of all the PS3 games that I have, just some little personal kind of fun that I've had with each kind of game. Not all the games maybe, but you know, some games that I had on here, maybe some recommendations on there. What I want to do is essentially a video documentation of my life in gaming, downsizing my collection, so that way I can go and have another amazing journey like we did in October. Folks, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you staying for this lengthier portion of the video. I know the Sephiroth giveaway part was just a part of it. I really do apologize for not being able to post a lot of videos these past couple of weeks. It's really been hard to do a lot of things, just staring at the screen. Even Attorney that I did not too long ago, I had to record it, and I took a really long break after I recorded it, because Tourneys are one shot only. I don't pause in Tourneys, I don't cut in Tourneys. It's just everything that I do essentially is, other than this video right now, they're all straight cuts. There are no cuts. You know, it's all a straight shot. So, and I have to, you know, I'm monitoring the fights at the same time. I can't just get up, get off my chair, go do something else, and then come back and, you know, the fight is not going on anymore because the next person on the bracket needs to fight, and I still need to input the button and actually watch the fighters fight, because there could be an error that happens on there that the game could, you know, just give a system error. The video card could freak out, a number of things. So I have to constantly monitor and constantly watch, you know, every fight that I do. But tourneys and specifically, you know, they can range anywhere from like 16 minutes to 2 hours. So that's a one-shot thing that I do. And I can't do that as much anymore. So I can't have been recording very few videos a day and then taking a break, and then the next day I'll do the very few videos. So I'm gonna kind of still try to post as many videos as I can and produce as many as I can the following day to release them the next day. I'll be also focusing on doing stuff for the van, such as cleaning it out and taking it apart on there. So I might do videos on that as well, and that will be less eye strain for me because of the screens and stuff as well, but I will only also do it probably in parts, so it's going to be a long project. And then the same with these guys. Since I'll be doing video documentation for pretty much almost every system that I own, I'll be probably doing it in segments, and I'll be making videos for this in like little short bursts of, you know, different collections that I've had over the years, and me just downsizing them. So that's the projects going forward. So folks, thank you so much for sticking into the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I really do apologize for all the inconvenience of everything that's been happening over here. I really am kind of upset with these guys on how they're taking the situation, but I'm more upset for the fact that, you know, after talking to my friend about how he has had very similar things on a much more severe situation that he's had with his significant other, it is absolutely ridiculous to have to see what these guys are doing and how much time goes by that could have been avoided. Even with my father, you know, how much time could have been and how much things could have been prevented if these things weren't more expedited, or there weren't no middleman to go and confirm things that have already been confirmed. So I want to pursue the things that I want to pursue. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, and I hope you all take care. So smash on, and I'll see you next time.